We all know this situation. You're with a group of friends and someone throws a subtle jab your way. It's not a full-blown insult, but it's disrespectful and it catches you off guard. In that moment, your mind races. Do you fire back with a clever comeback? Do you pretend you didn't hear it? Or do you just nervously laugh it off and change the subject? In today's video, I'm going to give you a different approach. I'll show you 5 techniques that will allow you to respond calmly and powerfully to disrespect. I will present them in a progressive order, from subtle to direct, giving you a complete toolkit to handle any situation. You can also use them as a step-by-step framework. But first, here's the core principle that you need to understand. Disrespect is a test. Whenever someone says something disrespectful, whether it's a joke at your expense, a passive-aggressive remark, or a direct insult, they are testing your boundaries. They are watching to see how you'll react. If you react with anger, you're proving you're easy to rattle. If you laugh nervously or ignore it, you're showing them that your boundaries are weak and that you'll accept that kind of behavior. They get a hit of control and a win at your expense. An impulsive reaction, whether it's lashing out or cowering, gives the other person exactly what they want. It shows them that they have power over you. The goal then is to stay calm. Your goal is not to win the argument or to have the last word. Your goal is to keep your composure, set your standards, and show that you are in control of yourself. This is the difference between a reactive response and a respected response. Before we dive into the techniques, let's look at the 3 biggest mistakes that most people make when they are disrespected. Recognizing these will help you avoid the common traps and understand why the new techniques are so effective. Mistake number 1, firing back. This is the most common reaction. Someone says something disrespectful and you immediately fire back with an insult or a sarcastic comment. On the surface, it might feel like you're defending yourself, but in reality, it's a huge mistake. When you get angry and lose your cool, you signal insecurity. The person who disrespected you now has proof that they got to you. You've become the aggressor and they can play the victim. You've lowered yourself to their level and the whole exchange looks childish and weak. Mistake number 2, laughing it off. This is the classic people-pleaser mistake. You pretend the comment was just a joke, you force a laugh, and you act like it didn't bother you. Why do you do this? Because you want to avoid conflict and keep the peace. But what you're really doing is telling the other person, I accept this behavior. You can do this to me again. You might think you're being the bigger person, but you're actually signaling that you have no boundaries. This is the surest way to invite more disrespect in the future. Mistake number 3, always saying nothing. Sometimes silence can be a powerful tool. But if your default response to disrespect is to say nothing and pretend it didn't happen, you will be seen as a doormat. While a single, well-placed moment of silence can be very powerful, and we'll get to that later, continuous silence signals submission. It says, I am not strong enough to stand up for myself, so I will accept this. Over time, this becomes a part of your self-image, and you will find it harder and harder to command respect in any situation. Alright, now that you know the core principle of disrespectful behavior as well as the common mistakes to avoid, let's dive into the concrete techniques that will get you instant respect. As already mentioned, they will progress from one to the next. Technique 1, the 10-second rule. This is the foundation of all the other techniques. When someone says something disrespectful, do not react immediately. Instead, do this. Say nothing for 5 to 10 seconds. The silence is your most powerful weapon. Most people expect an immediate reaction, anger, laughter, or an apology. When they are met with complete silence, they become uncomfortable. In that silence, they are forced to sit with their own words. They have to face the disrespect they just created. It puts all the pressure back on them. While they are feeling the discomfort, you remain calm. Your body language is crucial here. Maintain direct eye contact. Don't look away. Keep your facial expression neutral. No forced smiles, no furrowed brow. No unnecessary movement, no shifting your weight, and no fidgeting. Just stillness, just presence. This shows them that you are in complete control of your emotions. It signals that you are not rattled and that you will not engage in a childish game of insults. The silence makes them feel like the one who is out of line, and they are. This technique alone can de-escalate a situation and earn you instant respect. Technique 2, state your standards. Once you have mastered the 10-second pause, you can add a calm, clear statement to set your standards. This is a powerful move because it places you on a higher level. Instead of reacting to their disrespect, you are defining what is acceptable to you. After the initial 10-second pause, calmly and quietly say something like, "That's below my standard of respect." That's not a comment I will respond to. I don't engage in conversations that sound like that. Notice the language here. You're not saying you're disrespectful or you're rude. You're not attacking them. You're simply stating your own standard. You are defining the kind of person you are, and you are demonstrating that you have a line that you will not cross. The message you're sending is powerful. I have values and I don't respond to garbage. You are placing yourself on a pedestal without being arrogant. You are showing that your self-worth is not dependent on their opinion or their behavior. This technique works wonders because it puts you in the position of a leader, not a victim. Technique 3, the intent question. This technique is perfect for those ambiguous, half-joking comments or passive-aggressive remarks that leave you wondering if you're overreacting. The goal is to force the other person to clarify their meaning, which often makes them backtrack or apologize. When someone makes a comment that feels disrespectful, but they try to pass it off as a joke, hit them with a direct question. Your tone should be completely neutral, almost curious. What did you mean by that? Could you explain that for me? Did you mean for that to sound rude? When you ask these questions, you put the spotlight on them. They have to either double down on their rude comment, which makes them look like a jerk, or they have to backpedal and say, "Oh, I was just kidding," which gives you a subtle win. This technique is a powerful way to call out disrespect without starting a fight. It shows that you're paying attention and that you're not going to let a subtle insult slide. It forces them to own their words, and most people, when faced with that kind of accountability, will choose to retreat. Technique 4, repeat it back. This technique is for those times when someone is directly disrespectful or even outright insulting. It is a more aggressive version of the intent question. The goal is to put their disrespectful words on a public stage and make them hear what they just said. When someone says something insulting, calmly repeat their words back to them as a question. "So you think I'm an idiot? You're saying that I don't know what I'm talking about? Did I just hear you say that I am a loser?" This technique is a gut check for them. Most people, when they hear their own words repeated back, realize how bad they sound and will immediately retract them. Their face will likely go red and they will start to make excuses. If they do, you just calmly say, "Okay," or "Got it," and move on. You've made your point and you've shown that you can't be easily rattled. If for some reason they don't back down and they double down on their insult, you simply say, "All right," or "Good to know." This is a final, simple statement that signals, "Your words have no effect on me." You've shown that you won't get angry, you won't play their game, and you have complete control over yourself. Technique 5, set a hard boundary. This is the final, most direct technique. It is for situations where the disrespect is repeated or is so egregious that it requires a clear, non-negotiable line. This is where you use your words to create a boundary that, if crossed, has a consequence. There are 2 levels to this. The soft boundary. This is a gentle but firm statement. It's a warning shot. You might say, "Let's not go there," or "I'm not comfortable with this topic." This signals that you have a line and you expect them to respect it. It gives them a chance to back off without a bigger conflict. The hard boundary. This is a clear statement with an explicit consequence. This is a nuclear option to be used when other techniques have failed or the disrespect is severe. You say, "If you continue with this line of conversation, I am going to end this conversation," or "If you keep this up, I'm going to leave." The most important part of this technique is that you must follow through on the consequence. If you say you're going to end the conversation, you have to do it. If you say you're going to leave, you have to leave. If you fail to follow through, you will lose all credibility. You'll be seen as a person who makes empty threats. By following through, you prove that your standards are not up for negotiation. These 5 techniques are a progression, a ladder you can climb depending on the situation. You start with technique 1, the silent pause, to maintain your composure and signal confidence. Then, you can use technique 2 to state your standards and elevate the conversation. If the disrespect is subtle, you can deploy the intent question to force clarity. When it's a direct insult, you can repeat it back to put the spotlight on them. And finally, when all else fails, you can set a clear, hard boundary to show that your self-respect is non-negotiable. The most important takeaway from all of this is that respect doesn't come from what others give you. It comes from what you demand of yourself. When you set standards for yourself, when you refuse to engage in behavior that lowers you, and when you show that you are in control of your emotions, others will naturally follow. You don't have to fight for respect. You have to earn it by being a person who deserves it. If you want to go deeper and learn how to build unshakable confidence so that these reactions become second nature, check out our free confidence guide. It's packed with practical exercises that will help you build your self-image and become the kind of person who commands respect without even trying. The link is in the description below. Don't just watch this video and forget it. Take action and start building the life and presence you deserve.